Not many anglers have confidence fishing in the wintertime because of the common misconception that it's just not worth it. I am here to tell you today that fishing in the wintertime, you might not catch a lot of fish, but I promise you, you will catch quality over quantity. And you have a potential to catch your PB bass if you know what lure to use. I am going to tell you the top 5 bass baits in December that I personally use whenever the bite gets tough. Hands down, when the bite gets tough, I always pick up the Ned rig. The Ned rig is so effective because of its small profile, and you're able to constantly maintain bottom contact with wherever you're fishing, if that's a river, lake, or a pond. I personally have caught my PB smallmouth and meanmouth bass on the Ned rig. Most anglers overlook it because of its size, but the anglers who use it know how deadly it can be all year round, but it especially shines in the wintertime. The Ned rig is the best of both worlds whenever it comes to the quantity and the quality of the bass you catch. The Ned rig can entice even the most hesitant of bass to bite your lure. My personal favorite Ned rig hook is the Z-Man Pro Shrooms Head, and the perfect trailer is the Finesse TRD. The Finesse TRD will stand out from other Ned rig trailers because of its buoyancy due to the high salt contents in it. The Finesse TRD will stand up on the bottom and slightly move even when sitting completely still. This drives the bass crazy, especially this time of year when the bass are really lethargic due to the cold water temperatures. The jerkbait is a productive lure this time of year and is a staple in wintertime bass fishing. The jerkbait will trigger a predatory response from the bass and will make it react to what looks like a dying bait fish. Most people fish the jerkbait slowly this time of year, with pauses of 30 seconds or more not being uncommon. However, doing around a 10-second pause will also work on most occasions. The jerkbait catches some nice bass this time of year, and I have personally caught my PB spotted bass on this very lure that I'm holding right here. My personal favorite jerkbait, hands down, is the Megabass Vision 110 due to its action in the water, especially when paused. The Megabass Vision 110 jerkbait is the most realistic jerkbait on the market, hands down. Anytime I am fishing in cold water like in December, I prefer subtle lures that even the most finicky of bass want to bite. You might not get a lot of bites this time of year on your local body of water using a jerkbait, depending on how pressured the area is, but you will get quality bites that most bass anglers dream of all year long. The jig is another one of my favorite lures to throw this time of year. Normally in the wintertime, bass will relate to deeper water. The jig shines this time of year due to how slow you can fish this lure, and I mean painfully slow. Generally with a football jig, you are imitating a crawfish that the bass feed heavy on this time of year. There's 2 primary types of jigs I will use this time of year. If I am in a more pressured water or the bite is tough, I will go with a finesse jig. A finesse jig can get bites when no other lure can rise to the challenge. My personal favorite finesse jigs are the Finesse Baby Firework Tightrope Jig, the Strike King Bitsy Bug Mini Jig, and the Strike King Finesse Football Jigs. Now for size, I will either normally use a 3/16 or a 1/4 ounce. The second type of jig I will use this time of year is a football jig. A football jig is personally my favorite type of jig to use this time of year due to how effective it is around rocks and around deeper structure where bass generally tend to relate. Personally, my favorite type of football jig is the Strike King Tour Grade Football Jig. For trailers, you are going to want to use a soft plastic with not a lot of action due to the cold water temperatures. I will use anywhere from a 1/4 ounce all the way up to an ounce, depending on how deep the water is I'm fishing. I generally downsize my jig using shorter trailers to catch more bass. However, out of all these lures, if you are wanting to catch a bigger sized bass, I would suggest throwing a larger profile football jig because a bass will think it is a large and easy meal. This time of year is known to produce some big bass, especially if you're throwing a big sized jig and fishing it really slow on the bottom. The underspin is one of my favorite lures to throw in the winter, especially in cool water. This lure really shines when the water clarity is clear and can draw a reaction strike from even the most finicky of bass. Downsizing your underspin to 1/8 of an ounce or a 1/16 of an ounce will give you a slow falling presentation. Once at the desired depth, you can slowly retrieve it back at a steady pace. I normally like to pair the underspin with a Kitech swing impact, or if I'm trying to go for a larger profile bait, I will use the Kitech fat swing impact. A good rule of thumb when determining what size trailer to use is to match the size of the forage in your local body of water. The underspin will catch some quality bass and possibly your personal best. Not many people have confidence to throw an underspin, but I promise you that it will be well worth your time if you pick up this lure. The shaky head is one of my go-to lures this time of year, especially when the bite gets tough. When bass are holding to the bottom, the shaky head truly shines. I generally do not want to use too heavy of a shaky head this time of year, but in most scenarios I will pick up a 3/16 ounce, a 1/4 ounce, or a 3/8 ounce. Plastic wise, I like to use a finesse worm this time of year due to the action it produces. One of my favorite trailers to use for a shaky head is the Z-Man finesse worms due to the buoyancy of the Z-Man elastic. When using the shaky head, I like to work the bait slowly across the bottom and pop my rod every now and then and let it fall back to the bottom. I slowly work this lure back towards me, and many times the bass cannot resist this presentation. Make sure when you are fishing this month that you have a shaky head tied on. These are my top 5 lures to use in December and have been proven fish catchers. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Also, let me know if you agree or disagree with my top 5 December lures, or if I missed your favorite wintertime lure. I would appreciate the feedback. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button to help the video in the YouTube algorithm so more people can get recommended to this video. If you are not subscribed, I would love to have you join the channel. I plan on doing more videos like this in the future, releasing one every Thursday. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.